Good morning. Today's Friday. I'm out on a hike. I got a really slow start this morning. I think I stayed in bed maybe after I woke up, maybe an hour. Yeah, I did my meditation. I listened to some videos and to an affirmation and did my own affirmations, maybe even longer than an hour. Let me show you where I'm at. That's that pillar. Behind it, there's a cave. You can't see it from here. Here, there's a natural spring that comes out right under the pillar. Isn't that something? But it's dry in the summer. I'm going to be hiking up somewhere here. I want to get up under that ledge and sit. It just feels, it's like a new place that I go to. It's a new go-to place. I've decided, and this is something I've decided before too, but made a new decision on it. Hold on. I'll try to get this a little bit further away from me. That I'm really going to start paying more attention to, I'm paying more attention to what I'm saying, especially about myself. That I am not complaining. I'm not going to be complaining anymore. I really don't think that I'm a big complainer anyway. But I will cry if crying comes. And I will kind of tell about the journey and what is going on, just because I feel like there is value in that. I feel like there's value to also for others, to validate this whole thing, because I know that going through this twin flame journey thing is it's going through your soul, it's going through yourself, it's going through all of your biggest demons. It's a spiritual awakening. Your spirit is waking up and coming into the front, and in order for that to happen, all of your ego, all of the demons, and all of the false beliefs that you've piled on top of yourself while you were asleep in order to cope. You form all of these false beliefs that you're given and fed by society and by others, and cope mechanisms. It's like overcoming all of your addictions. It's addictive ways of thinking. You're addicted to blame, addicted to thinking certain thoughts that give you legitimacy for your behavior, for not standing up in your strength. And all of these are like these jinns, or like these genies, or like these demons that are within you, in all of your weak spots, sitting in there and egging you on and telling you, no, you're okay. You can keep being vicious, or, harming yourself because of this or this or that. It's insecurities. It's non-self-love. It's not standing up in your full power and your full strength. It's allowing these archetypes to run your life, because we are all I want to say like a bunch of archetypes. We all have these archetypes within us, on us, that we how am I going to explain this? Let me try to explain this. Hold on a second. Let me gather my thoughts about these archetypes. Because these archetypes, they are like tavniot. They're like structures of behavior, right? And these archetypes are universal. So there's all sorts of different archetypes. And then there's a few major archetypes. And all of these archetypes are, we have a soul, and the soul has no boundaries. It's fluid and connected to everything. And and it has no language, it has no behavior, it's just a pure consciousness. And in order for this, for your soul or for your spirit to get some kind of representation or some kind of vocalization, it has to go through filter of the person, right? The person that we are. So the person that we are has an ego, which the ego sits right under the soul, and it contains everything that is us, that we believe that is us. So we have this ego, which is an identity of us, right? And so these archetypes are within the ego, right? They sit right under the ego. It's archetypes. They're structures of behavior. And so these archetypes is you can be a victim, you could be a master, you could be a villain. You have all these different archetypes, all these different behaviors that we form that are universal. That's why we can connect to one another and understand each other, is because we recognize each of us have a lot of these archetypes within us, and they're universal. And that's how we connect to others, and we can feel what another person is feeling, or we know what they're going through, or we can kind of expect what they're going to say, because their behaviors fall into these systems or these archetypes. An archetype is just like a tavnit. It's like a structure of behavior, a certain mindset, or a certain way of behavior. And so, and there's all sorts of archetypes, right? There's the major archetypes, but then everything else is also, see, I'm going straight up this wall. So I put my coffee up there. There's people down in the valley. I'm not really interested. I want to get up to that wall up there. So you're going on a hike with me. So where was I going with all of this? See, I got off on this stream and I was like totally into channeling mode, and then I got pulled back out. This is where I got stung the other day, because I'm just seeing the hornets now. I'm seeing some hornets, and I realize that I'm getting up close to their den up here. I'll just have to remember that they have a den there, and be, because last time I just wasn't paying attention, because I've walked right through their den before, and I didn't bother them any, but it was because I was connected. This last time I walked through, I was talking on the phone. I was like being a Neanderthal in their space. Okay, I'm getting up to better land here, see? Now it should just be like a little bit of a walk up. That was the only place that was like a sheer cliff that I had to get up. The dogs found a different way around. Or at least Lola did. And so when you can break down these archetypes, when you understand what your ego is, and you can break down the archetypes, and you can see it from the outside within yourself, that means that you have to go up to soul level to look down into yourself. It's like a pyramid. And at the top sits your soul. It sits right above your pyramid. And then your pyramid, I got here. I'm going to sit here. See? It's a nice little ledge. Here, let me film it for you just so you can see. See, I was down there under there where I started. There's people down there walking. I don't know if they're kind of out of sight. That's down that valley. The other side. And I got here to this ledge. There's Lola. And then that goes straight up. And so when I sit here under this ledge, I kind of feel like I'm in a womb. It kind of feels like I'm inside of Mother Nature. I like it very much. It's like, it feels like it's protection. And so when you can get above these, above the Ego, you can look down, you can break down these archetypes if you're aware of them, if you can stay aware of them. And see, the thing is that this life is an experience, and we were given this body to go through this life and experience this life. And in order for us to rise up to the place of soul, then we have to purify ourselves. And this twin flame journey, that's where I was, and I'm coming right back around. The twin flame journey is the cleansing of this. Because we meet this other soul signature that is the same as ours, then all of the crap that's on top of our soul becomes evident to us. We can see it. And so we can do our self work across from this other person. Um, and it's painful because you have to, there's all of these blankets, all of these archetypes, all of these that we hide under, these archetypes and ways of behavior that have served us our whole life, beliefs that we have believed our entire, they form our identity. Our ways of behavior and things that we believe about ourselves, our weaknesses, things that we believe are possible or not possible for us. And so then we believe these beliefs and they become us, or we think that it's us. And as we rise up to the soul level, all of these things have to fall away. We have to work through them. We have to understand them. So we also have to understand them logically, um, to know what they are. But, the heart and the mind have to work together as one. They have to become like married, they merge, and one works with the other. They become in sync with each other, and then you can become in sync with yourself. But in order for them to come in sync with each other, it's the emotions, the heart, and the mind. In order for them, when they do become in sync with each other, then what you think is what you feel is what you think. Then you are straight with yourself. You are aligned. There is no pain. Where's the pain? The pain is when the heart is off from the mind. The mind wants something, the heart is off. The heart wants something, the mind is off. It's when you're going against yourself in some way, then you have all this pain. And we are all riddled with these archetypes. They're demons or jinns or whatever you want to call them, weaknesses, habits of behavior, dependencies, addictions. Because addictions can also be addictions to ways of thinking. You're addicted to being the victim, because when you're a victim, you don't have to stand up and take responsibility. You don't have to stand up in your power. You don't have to fix anything, because you're the victim of circumstance, of somebody else. So you get addicted to being the victim so that you don't have to do anything. And those are the hardest addictions to beat, because if it's alcohol, it's something outside of yourself. You can see it. You can see it in plain sight. Being a victim, you don't even realize when you're becoming a victim. You don't even realize that you're doing it. And so with this whole twin flame thing, one of the things that I've decided, there is no power in feeling sorry for myself. There is no power in it. Okay, so I feel like crap, but the more I see, I feel like crap. I say I feel like crap. What does that do? That reinforces that feeling. So this morning I decided I am going to change my language. I feel wonderful. I feel, and it feels so much different than saying, when I say I feel like crap, then I feel like I fall into the, I feel like crap. It's the victim. But when I say I feel, see, I can find different words for this. Okay, I am blessed to have this opportunity to build myself and realize my own self-worth through, and to become happy within myself without any kind of outside circumstances needing to be there for my happiness. Um, I am becoming a powerful being on my own, and then I can magnetize in a correspondent um, um, partner, correspondent, like at the same level as I am, but I have to first be at that level. So I am at that level of making my life the way that I want it to be, and not waiting for anybody to come along and do it for me. Or now, another thing on this twin flame thing is that I'm almost embarrassed to say it. Because you have these feelings and you second guess yourself. You ask yourself, is it true? But I think that I can feel when he's having sexual encounters. I can feel it. I woke up last night. I woke up with just like this. It woke up out of sleep with this deep pain and like this, like buzzing in me, and I could feel it. I could feel it. I could feel the emotion. I could feel the emotion. I could feel the lust of it. I could feel like it was almost like I was experiencing it from afar, but it made me sick. And maybe it shouldn't make me sick. Maybe that's where my problem is. Maybe it should be like, oh, yay for you. But at the same time, I think to myself, like, is it real? Is that really, is that real? But it felt so real, and it woke me up out of nowhere. And I felt like my whole heart chakra from the back was just like burning, and my hands went numb, and it was just like this buzz. I went into like this surreal buzz, like my whole body was shaking. It was just like that, and it wouldn't go away, and it kept on going and kept on going and kept on going until it ended. And there was nothing for me to do. And I feel like if we're this far connected with somebody else, that there's kind of a responsibility in that. But I have other thoughts on that too. And my other thoughts are that these are part of my lessons. Is overcoming that, being able to sit in that and just be like, oh, well, okay, and not have it phase me. I had a boyfriend before, and we've never even had sexual relations. And I feel that far connected with him that I feel him when he has intense emotions. I feel him, and I know that he feels me. And because he's told me before, a lot of times, like, and if he feels me, then he's going through something intense too, because my emotions are so intense and all over the place. The reason I was saying that making these videos is important is because, first of all, they're timeless. This is my journey. This is the twin flame journey. This is what it looks like. So anybody that gets on this journey and is in a similar place, I trust that the universe brings to people what they need. And I trust that when people are at this stage of their twin flame journey, regardless if it is now or regardless if it is 10 years from now, that this what I'm going through is timeless. It's emotions. Emotions are timeless. They don't belong in one certain time. It's like when you find a spiritual leader that suits you, like I watched Wayne Dyer. Wayne Dyer has already passed from this world. But I sometimes find his videos and they come up exactly relevant to what I'm going through or to when I need him. And I find that it's like that. Spiritual leaders or things of the spirit are timeless. It's like we're still learning from Einstein when Einstein's passed. So, and I do believe that my twin is super genius, super genius, super genius. But his talents are in the energetic field. Like he speaks the language of energy, and how you can't speak that language. You can't speak it in words. You can say things that give energy out, but how is that kind of genius get some kind of representation in this world other than the the uh, witness, being a witness? Like, that's why I was saying, like, he is the Messiah, because I see how the spiritual journey that I'm on up against him, and I'm thinking to myself, maybe it's not twin flames, maybe it's just meeting the Messiah, and and it feels like twin flames, but maybe he has that, yeah, that kind of, I know I've seen other people doing processes with him, and the way that he does it is, it's painful to go through. Anybody that is going through a spiritual awakening understands the pain of it, because spiritual awakening is the spirit awakening. It's the spirit coming forth, and the spirit is pure. And so all the crap that's on top of it falls off. And falling off, it doesn't just fall. It's like it's intertwined with your being, and it's all in there. And it's like pulling a tooth. You have to pull the roots out of even the smallest little crevices. You have to get in there and dig it out. And when you have like a solid belief from your childhood, it the rest of your being grows on top of it. And so, like, it's like pulling a sheet out of underneath your feet, and everything just topples to the ground. And then it's like, where do I go from here? What do I do? There's so much, and your world becomes massive, everything, but it's all up in it's your world has just become massive, and everything is connected to everything. And what do you do with it? What do you do with it? So I was and so I was thinking about this the twin flame thing. There has to be some kind of, like, you see, when you're that connected to somebody, you feel them so strongly that you have power over them, whether you want it or not. And I feel like there should be some kind of decency in that, or some kind of, like, responsibility in that. But then at the same time, I think, what, he's going to hinder his life because of me? What kind of love is that? But but if I have self-love, like, I don't want to feel those things. And then so it's the back and forth. It's the back and forth. And then I say, well, maybe these are things that you have to feel and go through so that you can grow from this experience, until it numbs you, until nothing moves you anymore, until you're not anchored in any way of any behavior of anybody else, uh, for you to just be in your center. And I don't know though how. I know with my other boyfriend, that's what I was started to say, is that I could feel but we were in a sexual relationship, I could feel when he was cheating on me. I could just feel it. I could feel it. It would hit me like a ton of bricks, and I knew it. And he lied to me, and I just felt the betrayal of it. But there was no denying it. He couldn't deny it. I mean, after I felt it, and then afterwards I saw the signs. I didn't see the signs until I actually felt it. And that's when I realized that sexuality connects you to the person that you're in a sexual encounter with. And with my twin, we've never even had a sexual encounter. I couldn't even imagine what it would feel like if we had. I couldn't imagine. Because the pain of last night, it woke me up from a deep sleep. It woke me up. It woke me up, and then I felt like paralyzed. And those are one of the times when, like I say, I keep on saying, I have to sit in the pain. Yesterday I was chasing again. I made a series yesterday of week videos. I'm wondering if I should put them up or not. Maybe I should put up like because it's part of the journey. It's part of the emotions. Like this video, okay, I'm crying in it, but there's a lot of value in this video too. I'm talking about the spiritual awakening and what it is and what I see, and talking about the telepathic connection and and anybody that's watching this that's on the twin flame journey can also connect to what I'm saying and understand things about themselves. So there's a value in this. And then I ask myself, is there value in the other videos of me just bawling and chasing and just being? And I think to myself, what is the value? The value in that is showing what it really feels like and what it really looks like. It's not pretty. The twin flame journey, it's not all romance and like whenever when I it's almost embarrassing to say about like, oh, twin flames, because it sounds like a little 12-year-old 12-year-old Disney movie or something. And it's not about that. It's about meeting this other person. See, it's not honestly, it's not about anything. There isn't any kind of thing that it's about. What all it is you meeting this other person that I watched. Somebody wrote to me to watch the Teal Swan, that she explains about twin flames and soulmates, and I watched it, and it gave me such a good explanation of it. There is no it all it is about is that you met somebody that is, it's like your same. I feel with him, even though there's that buzz when you're with them, it's like, there sometimes there's a buzz, and sometimes it just feels like you're with yourself. I look at his his hands or his feet or like his person, and it just feels like I'm looking at myself. I'm making myself miss him by thinking of his hands and his feet. I'm also really attracted to like shoulders and stuff, and like hair and like the little crinkles next to his ears. But last night, it was funny because last night I had a sexual dream about somebody else, about somebody that I know. I'm not gonna say because, but somebody else that I know, and I had a sexual dream about him, and then and it because it was somebody that I have been attracted to before, and he's somebody that when I met him, I felt like we had an immediate connection, like we come from the same tribe, or like we come from the same, we're made of the same stuff, and it feels more like a soul connection, like we are like soulmates maybe, or something in that direction. It's not, it doesn't feel like a twin flame. It feels that the connection feels more soft, like more liquidy, more like mergy. With the twin flame, there is the merge part there, where one time when I got really high, and I haven't been smoking, but anyway, but one time when I got really high, I could see that our souls were like merged, and I could feel him. He was telling me jokes, and I could feel him. But with the soul connection, it's something that's a little bit more like fluid. With the twin flame connection, it's something a little bit more like either you're merged all the way or you're bumping heads. You're like, it's more rigid. The connection is rigid. Um, and painful. And with a soulmate, it feels more like liquid velvet. It feels more like just water merging with water. It just feels warm and cuddly and kind of like uh, smooth chocolate. I don't know how to explain it. Just like it's like sweet. And with the twin flame, okay, so it can be like the sweetest of sweet. It can be like just pure honey. And then on the other, but that to get to that pure honey state, it's almost like you have to go out of your body. You have to go up to this um, higher plane, and that's where the pure honey is. But in this plane, it's more rigid. It's like it's painful, and it's like cactus meeting cactus. It's like it's like getting punched in the stomach every 2 seconds and poked by cactus, uh, something like that. See, I'm wondering about my words here. I'm wondering, am I making my reality here? Like, should I just be saying, oh, it's such a wonderful connection. It feels so good. I don't know. We're in separation. He blocked me. So I've always seen, you know what I did? I went into Facebook and I went out of all the Facebook. I was in a couple of Facebook groups that were twin flame Facebook groups, and I just left them. I don't want to give power to that. Like I left those groups. I uh I just kind of want to I want to like ease out of it. Everything that reminds me, because I started getting like twin flame reminders. Okay, so Kat from Sacred Soul Rising, I still am keeping prescription with her, like subscribe to her. Thank you for the coffee. I'm keeping my subscription with her because a lot of the things that she says, that she's just so spot on. And it seems like when her videos come up, they come up right at the right time. And she's almost every single video that she puts up, she says it's not about catching your twin. And that's something that I really need to hear and need to be reminded of all the time. Actually, I need to make a mental note that every time that I feel like I want to start chasing, to every time I feel like I want to start chasing, I need to go in and listen to her videos. Yesterday I was in the chasing mode again. I know nothing good comes of it. I need to completely detox. Like right now when I'm sitting here, I feel there's a bird going over, going chip, 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 chip. It went over me and it came right back over me again. And it's like it's looking at me. It went that way and now it came back and it went that way. I take those things as a sign. And it really brings me into the now, and it brings me into just looking at nature. See these plants here? This is that wild sage. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and end it here. Lola and Rexy love being here. So, oh, and I was going to say about that dream that I had. I had a dream. It wasn't a sexual dream. Like we didn't have sex, but we were in bed together and we were talking about having sex, and we were deciding that we were going to, and then I was in between thinking in my mind. I was thinking, okay, I will we'll do everything except for actual like intercourse, like that I will allow myself to go do everything with him except for that, because that is like sacred, somebody entering into my body. And And so we were talking about that, and then somebody came in the room, and then I had to get up and I had to do this and I had to do that. And it was like the whole dream was kind of like nothing really even happened. But this morning when I got up, I could feel him. And so I wrote him a message. Um, and I told him that I dreamt about him last night, and asked him how he is. And so that was that. So thank you for watching. I'm sending you lots of love.